Just had really great conversation with a client of mine. I wanted to hop on here and kind of talk about what we spoke about because I think it's important for a lot of people. I always tend to have some deep conversations with this client because they allow that to happen, and sometimes people aren't vulnerable and they put up a front, and these conversations tend to not take place as often as they really should. But this client's great and lets it happen. Today we spoke about getting to the gym and staying in a routine and the importance of what could happen if you are consistently good over a course of 90, 120 days, 6 months. It's it's mind-blowing how good you can feel. And listen, there's so many people out there talking about this, and I'm just talking about it as well because I want everyone to feel it, and I want everyone to see how much of a better human being and how great they could feel if they were to do it. So we started talking about, why they weren't in the same shape they used to be, or why they feel like their progress is not happening. And I had explained to them that we used to work out 3-4 times a week together, and there were days where they would come in without me having to be there. And now, well, with a new business, it's different, but that's not happening. And we got into the talk about how mental it is and how important that mental aspect becomes when you need to stick with that consistent routine. It's so easy to put up that front and to succumb to the obstacle of not starting, not going for the run, not going for the workout, not getting to the gym. It's so easy to succumb to giving yourself permission because you're tired or because you feel like you deserve the time to relax. And what I said was it's the idea of if you don't use it, you lose it is so true. And then in this instance, what that means is the more days you succumb to giving yourself permission to relax or kind of not have to work out or go for a run, the more days in between you breaking through that barrier, the harder it is to break through that barrier the next time you start. So say you work out on a Monday and you succumb to giving yourself permission to not. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, in the back of your mind you're thinking, I know I should be working out, but that permission starts getting stronger, and that barrier and that obstacle is harder and harder to break through. But it happens, and it's Friday and you work out, and then all of a sudden it's the weekend and just your schedule's different, or whatever you're eating or doing is different. You're going to bed at different times, and Saturday and Sunday are here, and you succumb to that barrier and you don't work out again. And then Monday hits, your work schedule's back to normal and you work out, and because things are kind of in a routine, and then it cycles again. Or you don't, and Monday you skip Monday, and then the week goes by, and then it's been like 10 days since you worked out because you're so tired from work, and you're tired from staying up all night with the kids. And you know, the idea of breaking through that barrier becomes so difficult to wrap your head around, because you're so tired and you feel like you don't have the energy, and you feel like you deserve to have the time off. But ultimately, the more time in between breaking through that barrier becomes taller and harder to break through. And I could see how easy it is to let a week, 2 weeks, months go by, and even a fucking decade. And what I explained to her was, but sometimes when I talk to clients, someone who's like fresh off like a decade of not working out, the first thing I say is like, I don't give a shit if you get to the gym and don't work out. I only care that you parked in the parking lot, because I know eventually you're gonna go inside. I don't give a shit if you go inside and sit in the fucking sauna for 20 minutes and leave. I just care that you got there and you went into the gym, and just kind of create that consistency of breaking through that barrier. Because eventually you're gonna hit some weights, and eventually you go on the treadmill, and eventually you're gonna go outside and run. And the more days you break through that fucking barrier, that flow state will start coming, and you'll start feeling fucking amazing after these workouts. And the more days that happens, that's when you start seeing incredible progress, and you feed off that progress. But that doesn't happen if you let days go by of succumbing to that barrier. So we came to an agreement that it's a matter of, on a daily, if you have to pack your bag with your clothes in it and just put it right next to your work seat, or if you have to wear your workout clothes to work, just so that you have no excuse to not go to the gym after. It doesn't matter what it is. You have to find the reason why, and you have to find some things that will help you break through that barrier and make that breakthrough a lot easier. It's so hard to explain, because there's so many different reasons why someone's barrier is so hard and so tall. But whatever you can do to fight and climb that obstacle and break through that barrier as often as possible, you have to fucking do it on a daily. Because that progress, that flow state, that feeling doesn't come until you break through that barrier many times, weeks, months on end. And then that feeling starts coming, and you start fucking loving going, and you can't not go. And that's when things start really clicking in your head. And that's what I want for everyone. That's what I want for my clients. That's what I want for people who listen to this. I don't even think anyone's fucking listening to this, but I want it for you if you are. And I really hope that if you are listening to this, you can get to that point, because I know when you get there, you're going to be like, fuck, this is what he's talking about. This is what he was talking about. And he's fucking right. This is the greatest feeling on earth. And I don't want to let go. But the thing about this feeling is the next day you forget how good that feels, because that obstacle is that much harder. That obstacle is harder than that feeling. It's stronger than that feeling. But if you keep breaking through, that flow state will come real quick and you'll get right back to it. So don't let days in between go by where you're not breaking through that barrier. Okay? Good luck.